evening, ladies, gentlemen, and they-thems. Welcome to the Private Property Podcast, hosted by myself, Sibs Matiela, brought to you proudly by privateproperty.co.za, where we love to connect you to the heart of property. We saw you last weekend at the property show. I hope you gleaned all of the information that you needed to, but the show must go on, and we still give you all of the education and all of the tools you need to help you along your property journey. Today is no different. We are talking about commercial property development in Johannesburg CBD. We've actually got Bonga Xulu in studio, who's TUHF's regional manager for Johannesburg. Bonga, thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm good, thanks.
Okay, tell me about TUHF.
TUHF is a commercial property finance company. We've got our head office in Braamfontein. We've been around for the past 19 years. 19 years, yeah.
Wow.
So we primarily work with property entrepreneurs in the inner city and other affordable areas. We follow where opportunity takes us. Over the 19 years, we've basically helped over 800 entrepreneurs to develop their portfolios. So we're here to help entrepreneurs and help the South African economy grow.
That sounds amazing. I mean, I've gone through your website, and it sounds like TUHF is all about like one man's trash is another man's treasure sort of thinking. You can find value in things that people maybe might overlook.
So, we known for helping to rejuvenate the inner city. As you know, with post 1994, there was a lot of semi-migration from, companies moving out of the inner city to your centers and other, nodes within the city, which left a lot of buildings in the inner city, underutilized. So as TUHF, we saw an opportunity to partner up with entrepreneurs who have the drive, who have the passion to clean up the inner city, because we firmly believe that the inner city is still the bread and basket of South Africa. It offers a lot of opportunity to people starting out in life, graduate, finishing varsities, people that are looking for greener pastures, and the inner city is a springboard for every South African. So we saw it fit to help property entrepreneurs who have passion to rejuvenate the inner city.
I was going to say, what drives your passion as TUHF for redeveloping the inner city?
So at the core of it is basically changing the lives of the people. It makes us so happy to see an entrepreneur who has a dream to build a business, so that it can be able to create employment opportunities. In the process, also create conducive environment for families to raise their kids and be as close as possible to work opportunities.
Tell me about the steps that you guys take in order to make this possible.
So it obviously starts with an entrepreneur spotting potential in a building within the inner city. And then there were approaches to basically find out more about our funding processes. Where basically started, we'll sit down with the entrepreneur to basically get an understanding of their entrepreneurship journey. Have they done any property investment before? Will that be their first, opportunity that they, chasing? And that helps us to gauge as to how to assist and anchor that entrepreneur through the journey of getting to funding, getting funding completed for that building. So it's the first of it, we basically do a high level feasibility where we basically look at the market, the rentals that are being paid in that node, look at the state of the building, if it needs some work, if it needs touch-ups.
If it's been hijacked.
If it's been hijacked, yes, we also, have some service providers that we, suggest that we have worked with in the past that we'll recommend for the entrepreneur to engage and see, what can be done to unhijack those buildings.
Because squatters have rights.
Yes, the squatters do have rights, and it's important for one to understand that we're obviously governed by the laws and the regulations of the country, and it's important one to follow those to the T. So in those instances, we'll recommend that they work with, lawyers or attorneys that are experienced in that field.
TUHF is currently heavily invested in developing what you have been calling property entrepreneurs. Can you tell us more about the programs that you guys offer these entrepreneurs? What is it? Who's open to it? Who can participate? Who can come to you? Do I need to have won the Powerball? Do I just come to you and I'm like, hey guys, I saw this building. I want to try my hand at doing this thing. Do I apply? I mean, do I qualify rather?
Okay. We basically work with entrepreneurs from all walks of life, be it a starter client, somebody who's yet to do their first project, somebody who has done a couple of projects, and seasoned entrepreneurs who have built quite substantial portfolios for themselves. So we basically collaborate across the board, and we're happy to assist, and we ensure that once we understand your journey, we're able then to put in place measures and assistance that is required to see one fulfill their dream.
Can you tell me one of the biggest success stories you've seen?
Okay.
In your work? Like just something like a feel-good moment for you at TUHF, where you were just like, this is why we do what we do.
Yeah. So there's a guy that spotted a building. That's how the journey begins for most of the entrepreneurs. He spotted a building. Previously, he has invested in a couple of sectional titles, right? But he was looking to now diversify his portfolio and grow to owning a block of flats. So it was about 10 units in a block of flats in the Yeovil area. And the gentleman when he approached us, he basically had some funds that have been stashed away because he knew that he was searching for the right opportunity. And when he came to us, we did the feasibility, we looked at the market rentals, we looked at what is required to get the building into a pristine state to make it attractive for potential clients, right? So we engaged a quantity surveyor who's well positioned or well placed rather to actually work out the needs, the costings that are that informs our feasibility, right? To basically gauge whether was that a viable opportunity or the guy was overpaying for it. So he approached us, we worked our feasibility, we're able to advise that, this is a good price that you're getting the property at, and with the costings are quite in line with what we've seen in the market. And, once we've worked that out, he basically fell short of the equity requirements. We normally, require a minimum of 20% equity contribution from the entrepreneur. But should the entrepreneur fall short of the 20%, we've got an in-house equity support fund that we use to assist entrepreneurs in that instance.
Okay.
So we were able to chip in using assistance from the equity fund to help that entrepreneur successfully close that transaction.
And he did.
He did. And I'm glad to say that now he's looking for his second property around the inner city. It's been a year now since, he started, letting out the business, and he's enjoying the journey. He has learned a lot over the past 12 months, and he's looking forward to continuously growing his portfolio.
Listen, I mean, we need obviously more success stories like this. What other courses does TUHF offer for people who want to be like this guy?
So we've got a program internally which we run in conjunction with the University of Cape Town. It offers its incumbents a certificate at the end of the 12 months. What's great about it, it's designed to help people who are starting out their property journey. It also designed to help those people who already have accumulated experience. So initially, the first phase of the program, it's filled with a lot of theory, right? Which takes about 6 months, which take us from, the basics of investment. How do you appraise a property, right? Just because you see a property is going for a certain price, it doesn't mean that that's the right price for that property. So property investments or appraisal have people to be able to do financial analysis, right? To be able to make an informed decision.
Like, is it a diamond or is it a cubic zirconia?
Absolutely. And secondly, it also takes them through the legal processes that are involved in property transactions. How to read the OTP, which clauses to look out for in the OTP to ensure that you are not just signing your life away.
I now know, sorry, I'm proud of myself because now I know that OTP with property actually means offer to purchase and not one-time PIN.
That's correct.
Okay, cool.
That's correct. And obviously, it helps in terms of property management, what is property management, what does it entail? Because once you've acquired the property, right, it's now in your possession. There are obligations that come with that. On a monthly basis, you now need to service the funding from the bank, right? And if you're not collecting enough on a monthly basis, you're gonna soon run into trouble. So it is very important that you team up with a property manager that is experienced in that node of town and learn from them, so that one day in the future, if you do have aspirations of, building those capabilities internally within your business, you can be able to do that. So it's very important that you partner up with a very good property management, because he will help you be able to pay the monthly installments.
Bonga, what kind of legacy is TUHF trying to leave behind for the inner city of Johannesburg and its surrounding communities?
Johannesburg is a rough diamond, right? There's a lot of potential. And there's a lot of, it offers entrepreneurs from all walks of life opportunities to get a foot in the door and grow their portfolios. So it's a good learning ground for property entrepreneurs. It's a thriving economy. There's a lot of entrepreneurs that live in the inner city that are very generous with imparting knowledge to other entrepreneurs. If you look at the inner city, it needs more entrepreneurs to collaborate with the different stakeholders, the finances, the municipality there, to clean up the inner city in order to make it a conducive environment for families to live and start out their families.
I hear what you're saying, and this is now just a personal question on my part. With all of these developments that happen in inner cities generally, very sort of modern places that everyone wants to live in, everyone wants to move there. It becomes the it place to be, a precinct where, you can find all things like all of the best restaurants, easy access to transport and all of those things. And I sort of wonder if the people who were there before, because obviously that drives up the price in certain instances, does this kind of thing, do you think, add value to the lives of the people who are already living there? Or do you think maybe they get priced out of the market a little bit?
Mixed use development are definitely useful for people, because people don't want to be walking long distances to be able to access certain amenities. It's always good to live nearby the amenities that you enjoy, amenities that offer you basic, food or services requirement that people require on a daily basis. And having a precinct approach, it actually helps to unlock that value in your investment as a property entrepreneur. So we do work closely with people that have a mindset of creating precinct, and we also, promote that collaboration amongst entrepreneurs themselves, because it doesn't help doing things in silos. If you come together, you find that you're much more effective, because it's no longer your burden alone. We're sharing the burden, and we're also splitting the cost that comes with introducing those measures that will help clean up and make the environment a secure and attractive environment for people to live in.
Bonga Xulu from TUHF, thank you so much for joining us here today. How do people find you? I'm an entrepreneur. I'm picking up what you're putting down. How do I find you?
Our website address is www.tuhf, which is spelled TUHF.co.za, and just go to our contact page. You'll find all the information that you need there.
Ladies, gentlemen, thems, you heard it directly from the horse's mouth. We are in commercial property development, not only in the Joburg CBD, but all around the country. Bonga Xulu, TUHF's regional manager for Johannesburg, joining us on the podcast today. Bonga, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You heard it directly from the horse's mouth. That's Bonga Xulu from TUHF, who's the regional manager for Johannesburg. We are regenerating Joburg CBD, and I suppose other places around the country eventually?
Yes, absolutely. We're not just based in Johannesburg, but we've got 5 regional offices throughout South Africa, which is obviously Johannesburg, the head office. We've got an office in Cape Town, Port Elizabeth, which is now known as Gqeberha. East London, we've got an office, as well as Devon.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're building apartments in Montebit. And listen, that's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for joining me and my guest Bonga Xulu on the Private Property Podcast, brought to you proudly by privateproperty.co.za. I will see you tomorrow for tomorrow's episode. Good night.